So SPS 1 is all about periodic tables, and if you're asking what periodic tables are, a periodic table is an organized table of all the elements. And elements are substances that can't be broken down and naturally occur in nature. This is a table that's organized from top to bottom and from left to right. So the columns are organized by similar characteristics like metals and nonmetals, and the rows are organized from left to right and by the number of orbitals found in an element. This is also called a period if they're organized by rows. SPS 2 is all about ionic bonds. So an ionic bond is when an atom shares or receives an electron. So one atom needs to lose an electron and one atom needs to gain an electron. So by sharing them, they both become stable. And an example of this would be a sodium atom donating an electron to a chloride atom before they're both unstable, but after they become stable. Now we're going to talk about the three states of matter, which are solid, liquid, and gases. So solids have a definite shape and a definite volume. And liquids have a definite volume, but they will take the shape of whatever their container that they're in. And gases have neither a definite volume or a definite shape, and they take the shape of whatever container that they're in because they spread out. And the law of conservation is the theory that matter is not created or destroyed, it is only transformed or transported. So for example, if you start off with 3 cups of water, no matter how many phase changes you go through, there will always be 3 cups of water when you end. SPS 4 is all about fission and fusion and radioactive decay. So what is fission? Fission is the process of radioactive decay when an atom splits into 2 or more atomic nuclei. And fusion is the opposite of fission. It's when 2 or more atomic nuclei combine to make an atomic nuclei. So one of the biggest benefits of this is that fusion actually produces a lot of clean energy and no greenhouse gases, which is good for the environment. However, we don't know how to use fission because if we did, things would blow up and then it would not be good. And the half-life is the time taken for the radioactivity of a specific isotope to fall to half of its original value. So if you have 50 grams of something and the half-life is 20 years, then in 20 years you'll have 25, and then it keeps getting cut in half every half-life until it's pretty much non-existent. So SPS 5, we're going to talk about how particles are arranged in solids and liquids and gases. So particles in a solid have a fixed position and the particles vibrate in place. And then a liquid, the particles don't have a fixed position and they move past each other, but they're still like close together. In a gas, the particles are far spread apart, have no fixed position, and they move in every which direction. And as temperature increases, all molecules will speed up. Finally, for SPS 6, we're going to be talking about solutions. Solution consists of a solvent and a solute. The solvent is what is dissolving the solute, and the solute is what is being dissolved. So for example, when you're making Kool-Aid, the water is the solvent and the Kool-Aid is the solute because the Kool-Aid is being dissolved in the water. And then we have solubility, and this is how much a solvent can hold of solute. So basically like the perfect ratio. So there's 3 different levels. It's unsaturated, saturated, and supersaturated. Unsaturated, the solvent can hold more solute. So that's like watered down Kool-Aid. Saturated is the perfect amount of solute-solvent ratio. And supersaturated is that there's so much solute, the solvent can't dissolve it and it sits at the bottom usually. And that's like if you put so much Kool-Aid in, the powder was just sitting at the bottom. So that's solutions for you.